You don't need to. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. The thing that you know is that if this point's below, even if you have a horizontal or if you don't, you know you never come back and go up positive. Because to do that, you would have to have another x-intercept. So once you know you're down here, you know you're going to stay down here. Just trying to save ourselves a little bit of grief by not having to do that part of it. You got it? Let me see what you got. Good. I'm going to put the answer up here. How many of you got that? Yeah?
For the test, you're not going to give us one where we have to do long division.
Well, we didn't have to do long division here. You mean like for...
Division, like we did on the last problem?
You should start looking at the synthetic division as just now another tool to factor. As opposed to like, you know, this test is going to be about synthetic division. Now it's more like, hey, anytime I need that, I'm pulling it out.
Would 1 divided by infinity technically be 0?
It would approach 0.
It would be, okay, so it would be a number infinitely close to 0.
That's right. Which is 1 over x. The graph of 1 over x is what we were talking about last class. And as you go out, this horizontal asymptote, that's what's happening. As you go to infinity, 1 over infinity is headed towards 0 without actually ever getting there. All right, do I need to explain or clarify any parts of this? Sure? Like why it's a bracket here and a parenthesis, we're all... Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I think 3 is pretty straight, or C, sorry, number C, is pretty straightforward. But let's look at D. D is a little bit of a pain, all right? D is a bit of a pain. And I know in the past in classes that I've had where I've given an exam, I've given a problem like D, and I've had students make the huge mistake that I warned them about, like I'm about to warn you about. And this all goes back to this idea right here, all right, before I get to that. If I tell you that x plus 2 times x minus 3 equals 0, we are all very comfortable with the idea of setting each of these equal to 0 and getting our two solutions, right? X is negative 2 and x is 3, right? We're all happy with that. If I write x plus 2 times x minus 3 equals 5, or 3, then can I do this? X plus 2 equals 5, x minus 3 equals 5.
No.
Why not?
Because it's not equal to 0.
Because it's not equal to 0, yeah. So you're saying I can only do this is when it's 0.
Right.
Why?
Because I've been told that.
That's right. Okay, but why? I mean, why is it that...
Because you want to know
Because
where
you're going
the
to tell
points
us.
are?
What is this saying right here?
Because 0 times 0 is 0.
Oh, okay, that's when that particular number is at 0.
0 has no value, so it doesn't change anything when you plug in 0, but that 5 has a value where it'll change up a little bit.
Let me try and lead you a different way. If I tell you two things multiply to be 0, you can set each of them equal to 0. That's exactly what we did right here, right? A times B equals 0, you set A and B equal to 0, right? If I tell you that two things multiply to be 5, does that mean that A has to be 5 or B has to be 5? No. Give me an example of an A and B that multiply to be 5 where neither one of them is 5.
1 and 5.
Well, 5. You said 1 and 5, so one of them is
Oh,
5.
either one is
I think in that case,
You're adding.
two-
Probably seven.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I did that.
Seven irrational.
Like, did I tell her?
2.5.
I just like saw it.
So you can get some decimals involved, right? How about 25 times 1/5?
Yeah,
There you go.
that works.
25 times 1/5 is 5. So if two numbers multiply to be 5, that does not require then that one of them had to be 5. But if two numbers multiply to be 0, one of them has to be 0. There's no way around that. There's no way you're ever going to get 0 by multiplying two numbers together. Go ahead, you can try it for the rest of your life. You're not going to find anything that's going to work except if you have to make one of them be 0. And this is called the zero factor property. Okay? When you factor something equal to 0, you can set each of them equal to 0. When we look at D, we cannot treat this the same way we treated the first one because we don't have 0 on the other side. And so that the 0 represented like our x-intercepts. Remember, when we say greater than 0, we mean above the x-axis, less than 0 below the x-axis. We need that right side to say 0 before we can even begin the problem. Yeah, so you just move the 3 over. Yeah, but see, someone's going to forget to do that.
would you switch the sign?
Yeah, let's see. Greater than 3. All right, so we need the right side to be 0. So you move the 3 to the left, and it becomes minus 3, doesn't it? So now I have x plus 2 over x minus 8 minus 3 greater than 0. That doesn't look so bad. Okay, big deal. We just move the 3 over. Is the left side a rational function? I'm getting yeses and nos. Kind of. What's wrong with it right now?
No common denominator?
Yeah, we need a common denominator. We need this to be one fraction. This is two fractions, right? This is 3 over 1. So we need to put these two together. So you have to combine these two. If you remember when we first started this class, you had that take-home packet. This is something that you would have been asked to do in the take-home packet. Put those two together, right? So let's do it. You get a common denominator, which would be x minus 8. So you multiply top and bottom here by x minus 8. X minus 8.
It's totally weird thinking about the fact that we're multiplying by 1.
Yes. It's weird.
Yeah, like it's kind of weird to think about that we're changing the fraction that drastically and all we're doing is multiplying it by 1.
That's right. That multiplying by 1 is very, very helpful.
One's a power over.
Make sure you distribute that 3 through, right? And then make sure you distribute the negative through if you're going to combine them together. So I'm going to go ahead and combine them together right now. It would be x plus 2 minus 3x plus 24 across the top. The bottom, x minus 8 greater than 0. And combine like terms, we get negative x plus 26 over x minus 8. Do y'all remember I was telling y'all the other day, some of you, I was like having a, wait, what? Negative 2x, yeah. No, I told y'all the other day I made another student cry, right? Remember? Wasn't I telling y'all about that?
You were telling
I was telling someone about that.
You're telling us.
I told you that on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
I'm having a weird semester.
I don't know. Something
I made a student in my other class cry.
Why?
She was texting on her phone during class. And I called her out and I made her upset. That's a long story. I can't get into it, especially on camera. Oh, wait, am I still muted? No, I'm not muted anymore.
Is she like stalking your YouTube?
No.
Waiting to sue?
Sue me.
Yeah, definitely gonna sue you.
All right, so now this looks more like that problem we did a second ago, right? We just look at the left side now. Let's see how quick we can do this one. What are my x-intercepts there? Negative 13? What's my vertical? I have one at 8, right?
Wait, isn't it just 13? Once you
Yeah, it's 13. Hold on. It's 13. It's positive 13. Yes, because it had the negative out there. Thank you. Here's what I'll do.
Your bridge collapsed.
There we go. There we go. Now some test points.
Do we not need horizontal?
Don't need horizontals.
Ever?
Not for these problems.
Okay, but okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be -2?
Yes, it would. Yes.
Small.
Yes. It would be -2. So you would be down here.
I just
Good.
found myself.
Here's my test points right there. Plug them in and figure it out. I think you get negative, positive, negative. I know you get negative, positive, negative. You get negative, you get positive, you get negative. See, I'm not doing any of this work, but do you follow what I would be doing?
How do you know so quickly? Do you just do it in your head real fast, or is there a?
Well, because I know that the horizontal is -2, so because of this. So I already know both ends are going to be on the bottom. And then also because these factors, these two factors are both linear. If they're both linear, it will switch each time. But it gets kind of complicated. Like if this one's quadratic and that one's quadratic, then it's a little different. And
So going down, they're both going to be lines.
yeah. So it's going to go like this down here, and then what happens this way?
It's gonna curve.
It's got to wrap back around, and then over here it's going to go up, and then through, and then down, and again, it's going to flatten out. I just, I put this, but it is going to flatten out. I don't care. It's below the x-axis, below the x-axis. Yes.
This has nothing to do with it, but since she's right, the horizontal is -2, it's just going to be straight. It's not gonna be-
It is flattening, yes. Yeah, it should, if I were to be asking you to sketch this, then you would have that additional component of flattening. But see, what we're trying to do is solve this as quickly as possible, so minimum information. So what am I looking for here? Where it's bigger than, so above the x-axis, which right in here, right? So 8, 13, parenthesis,
Well, I was talking about the other side.
what here?
13 has bracket. No?
Do we want 13? Do we want it to be equal to 0?
Oh, no, we don't.
No, we don't. So that's it.
Yeah, I was testing.
I think you've got it.
I was just making sure that's good.
See, that wasn't so bad, right? Y'all were like, are we going to do that today?
I thought it was going to be a lot.
Just like,
Why don't you do number F, and we'll call it a day. How about that? That sound good? You do number F.
And if you don't do F,
Hmm?
is it on our own?
Yeah, like you do it. You wanna do it on a sheet of paper. I'll give you a quiz grade based on you show it to me, and I'll give you 100. Okay, I'm not gonna collect it and grade it. I'm gonna give you a grade right now. Understand? Pardon? For F. For number F.
I'm not gonna give it to you, take it out.
You are going to show it to me, and I will give you credit. Yes. So you are not going. You don't have to tear it out and hand it in. Yeah, you want that bigger? I'll blow that up for you. Is that okay? I can't go any bigger.
Sir, it's too small.
I can't make that any bigger.
it needs to be at least 4 inches.
4 inches per period.
You can talk to each other. This is not like a quiz where you're on your own. I don't mind you helping each other out. But I'm going to kill the video, so.